welcome to this episode. This is the Glow Theory podcast. If you are new, hang around, subscribe, like, comment, do all that fun stuff down there. This is the last episode of this season, of the healing and self-love season. And we're gonna move into relationships and the more intimate parts of relationships and just kind of, tips on stuff like that. For us younger girlies stepping into this world, we want to know how to be careful around these men these days, okay? So today's episode, this is titled, I Am Soft, Not Stupid. So we're gonna jump into what exactly I mean by that and how softness is important and how sometimes it can make you seen as naive or stupid or incompetent and how you can get run over for being soft if you don't have boundaries. So we're gonna get into that. This is episode 5. This is crazy. Honestly, I never thought I would be doing this, but here I am. Gotta start somewhere, gotta keep going, gotta keep pushing, gotta keep building this community, this family, this niche, and hopefully this will reach the right people. And we're gonna get into this. Obviously, I have my notes, so if I'm looking down, this is where I'm looking. So I'm gonna break it down into 4 different segments and just kind of explain each segment process, I guess, just to make it easier so I'm not jumping all over the place and it gets confusing, because I tend to ramble and then I start talking about things that I don't as I'm doing right now, start talking about things that don't even make sense. So we're gonna break them into segments. So in segment number 1, we're gonna talk about what softness really is. So my notes down here, I was explaining that softness is an emotional intelligence, it's divine femininity, it's compassion, it's intuition, and it's restraint. So we're gonna explain how each of those aspects is what softness. So being soft is an emotional intelligence because it's a way of self-regulating and essentially choosing how you would respond to people and situations regardless of how intense they can be. Let's say you're in an argument with so-and-so, with someone that you care about, and they're lashing out, they're yelling at you, whatever it is, but it's choosing to take in the situation, choosing grace, choosing compassion too, and understanding why this person is so angry with me and why they're so quick to just whoa, what is triggering them, holding that space for that person. That's where the emotional intelligence comes in, and being able to regulate instead of tat for tat. It's just okay, this person is freaking out, let me just kind of take in the situation, process it a little bit, let them get whatever they have to get out, and not retaliate, not come back with more anger, with more, but this, you did this, and this, and then just keep adding fire to the flames. Softness and emotional intelligence, choosing to stay open and not shut down. It's choosing to regulate your emotions in that immense amount of pressure or situation, whatever it is that you're in, choosing to just, it's gonna be okay. This is heated right now, but this moment does not define it does not define my whole entire day, week, month, year. It's not gonna define my whole entire life. It's not this giant thing that needs to be exploded. It's just for this moment. It's just for right now. Definitely can see how the past version of myself, especially with super intense situations or arguments, being that version of me who was extremely insecure about themselves, who was a people pleaser, who was just damaged goods, okay? And being in combative arguments with people that I care about. It shut me down. It made me not want to hold compassion or a safe space for them. Even when I tried, I really couldn't do it. I couldn't open up. I just couldn't open up. I couldn't allow that space for understanding and for common ground to be met. I'm not saying I was yelling and doing the most, but I'm saying like I shut down. You know, that's not me being in softness. That's not me regulating my emotions. I definitely would say I'm a very compassionate person, almost to a fault. I care really, really deeply about people, and the past version of myself would hold this space for people with kindness and care and do whatever the fuck I had to do. But during times of like arguments and confrontations and stuff like that, it made me uncomfortable, especially if it was someone I deeply cared about. It was almost like triggering. I was always shutting down because I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know, because I was not even regulating my own emotions, and then to try and regulate mine and this person's emotions at the same time, it was just like I couldn't do it. I just shut down because it was a trigger for me, and I didn't understand how to do that too. And honestly, like there's no proper way to, like a step-by-step guide on how to regulate yourself during intensive situations or arguments. It's just about just take that courage within yourself and just take a deep breath. You can literally just get up and walk away for a few seconds to get your poop in a groove, to get your groove back on, to find that ability to just dial back and not shut down, but not be so closed off, but to come back down, find that space for understanding within yourself and within that person. And that's where softness comes. That's where the healing flourishes. That's where conversations can be made appropriately. I also want to talk about how softness takes a great, immense amount of courage and compassion, because having that emotional maturity and understanding, and that compassion aspect as well, of being able to understand people's emotions and holding a space for it and not minimizing it, not making certain things and stories and conversations about you, and actually validating this person's experiences and what they were saying and how it made them feel. You know, it's creating that emotional safe place for this said person and for yourself. There have definitely been times where softness and being soft has led me to wanting to be hard. And if you've watched my previous podcasts of how healing made me mean at first, you know, and just hating people and hating everyone and resenting people for how they treated me and assuming that all people are like that. And I hated that version of myself. Yes, I was healing. Yes, I had very, very strong boundaries and still do. And my discernment is at peak, but I was missing the softness aspect. I was missing that part of myself that was just so loving and kind and was just so willing to love people regardless, just because. But the difference between then and now is that yes, I have discernment, and yes, I have softness mixed together. So I'm not being like stepped all over with my softness and with my kindness. And there were so many times, yes, where I just wanted to be, I don't know, hard and cold and not care for other people and their emotions and their feelings, as long as my boundaries and me were protected. And that truly, yeah, that got me nowhere. It brought me back to being soft again, but it made me very cold and calculated and very alone. I was choosing to cut off all connections so quickly, with quickness, because I was not in a space for any type of like emotional regulated field. Like I was just not in that phase of having this soft energy and allowing and holding space for other people's feelings and emotions. I think during that time, obviously very much healing and so focused on myself that I guess, you know, my inner child or whatever is like, you know, holding on, protecting me, making sure that I'm safe, that I'm not gonna go through whatever I just went through again. But I was just really, really cold, really, really mean. Discernment was there. Discernment was T. She was protecting, but she was pushing away. She was being mean. She was being cold. And I don't regret that because it led me to here. But there is power in choosing softness and not being cold and mean and vindictive because you've been hurt before. When I think about that portion, I think about like dogs who've been abused by awful human beings that deserve to die. I think about dogs who've been abused, but those dogs, they still have so much love. Like they still have so much love to give. Even though they've been abused by people, they're still choosing to trust. They're still choosing to love. And yeah, I don't know. I always think about that and it makes me want to keep doing that because love and being soft is just so much lighter. It is so hard to be cold and to be a hating ass. It's so hard to do that. It takes up so much energy. It's like, it's so exhausting. And then, you know, just embracing this feminine, soft, kind energy, I have been nothing but glowing, radiating, magnetic. Like it just feels amazing. Obviously softness with boundaries, we will talk more into that, but it's just, y'all, it's just so much easier to be soft, right? But it takes an immense amount of strength, power, and courage. So shout out to all the people who still chose to love and open up their heart, even if they've been through the most terrible things in life. That is power because love always wins. Love always saves all. And if you're choosing to still love and be soft in this world that hurt you and made you bitter, you are choosing soul over ego. That's what I believe in. Okay, we're gonna go into the next segment. Segment number 2, this is boundaries don't make you mean. So just because you're soft and open and compassionate, you still need to have a backbone. You still need to know when it's time to walk away and choose yourself and stand 10 toes down. You can still be soft and kind, but you need to understand and know when to say no. If you don't want to do something, you don't need to say no in a nasty, ill-intentional way. Just say no with grace, with love, and move on. There is no, because with being soft and in this kind of feminine energy and embracing this loving, kind, forgiving energy, it can sometimes set up a comfortable place for people who want to walk all over you, who want to use you as a doorstep. No, because with softness, you're not stupid. No, girl, we're not stupid here. We're soft. Yes, we are empowered in our softness, but we have boundaries. We say no when we're uncomfortable. We say no when we don't want to do something. We say no if it doesn't feel aligned, if it doesn't feel healthy for us. There's no abandoning yourself. You are not allowed to abandon yourself if you're choosing softness, because the people-pleasing tendencies can sometimes start to kick in there where you feel like you need to overgive and overdo and say yes and be kind and compassionate and loving. It's no. Have boundaries. Make sure you're not abandoning yourself. Make sure that you're still regulated within yourself, that you're still choosing you, and that, yeah, you will not get walked all over ever. Yeah, just making sure that you're not confusing the two, because softness is rooted in self-awareness and people-pleasing tendencies are rooted in insecurity and fears. So just understanding that within yourself. It, for example, like if you're in a situation, whatever, this person is asking so much of you and you're getting a little uncomfortable. If you start to feel uncomfortable, immediately don't say yes because you want to appease this person. Don't say yes to make them comfortable. Choose whatever it is say no. Say no with grace and move on. And if they get mad, okay, it is what it is. You're not gonna get in trouble because they got mad, because they're upset that you don't want to do something you don't want to do, okay? You're not gonna get in trouble, you're okay, you're safe. Okay, we're gonna move on to segment number 3. It is I see everything, I just don't react the same. So this segment is all about discernment and softness and how they go hand in hand. Being able to read people, their energy, following your intuition, softness, feminine side, right? Being able to be self-aware and understand situations and the energy shifts in the room within people, and being able to pick up on that, because trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, trusting that discernment literally saves you the time, the exhaustion, and the lessons, okay? So I'm gonna explain to you what I believe discernment is. Discernment is that inner knowing and that ability to sense what's true and what's safe and what's aligned and healthy for you. Without discernment, softness can turn into people-pleasing trait, and without softness, discernment can turn you into a cold person. So that I was kind of talking about that previously, about how only having one really affects the other side, I guess. With having both hand in hand, with having softness and discernment, it is being able to love without being naive, being able to show compassion and care without being walked all over. It's having that inner knowing and making sure that what you are giving is given to the right people. It's not just being poured into empty glasses that have nothing to give and nothing to give back to you. And also giving it to the right people too, because there's a lot of people with nasty ass energy. So making sure that you use your discernment and protect yourself. Make sure you're not, being overgiving and soft and, this. You want to make sure you're safe, okay? And having both discernment and softness is having that ability to forgive, but not forget the lesson. That's the discernment kicking in. It's like, yes, you can forgive and move on with grace and with love and compassion and wish that person well, or forgive that person with whatever thing that happened, but know the lesson. Know, understand, validate what happened. Yes, validate it. Don't resent. Don't put that anger. Don't do that, right? We want to move on with grace and not with ego and a chipped shoulder. But still having that lesson in the back of your mind so that you're not over forgiving and over accepting and allowing people to constantly give you less than what you deserve because you were being too forgiving, too kind. We don't want that. We don't want to act and look a fool, right? Because like I said, you are soft, not stupid. It's also having that ability to, you can be soft and just having fun, you're loving life, you're loving people, you're kind, compassionate, but also understanding and knowing when the energy is off. The energy is off, you are out of there. You're walking away. You're trusting your discernment, your intuition, and you're walking away, okay? And I just want to remind people that softness is not ignorance. You still got to use your brain. You can be soft, la, 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 just feminine, happy, soft life. You still got to use your damn brain. You don't want to be stupid and left boo-boo a fool because you're overly soft. You know, it's not balanced, right? We want to have those balanced energies of discernment, intuition, softness. We want that here. We don't want that here. Okay? Now we're going to move on to the last segment of this episode. So healing helped me come home to myself. So this one is a very important one. Obviously, I was explaining how I used to be very, very angry and very cold and would push people away during my initial healing process. But through healing and through inviting softness again, it brought me back to who I was and who I was at the core. Because I'm just reminded of this time where, especially like in middle school, all I cared about was being kind to people. I did not care about anything else. I just wanted to be nice to people. I wanted to make sure people felt okay and safe around me and my energy. I just wanted to do everything I could to embrace kindness and bring awareness to kindness, literally. And during that time of being so angry and cold, I would look back and I'm like, damn, like I missed that part of myself. I missed that aspect of me who was just so willing to just be kind and so willing to be open and soft and inviting. And sure, the past version of myself, she had a lot of work to do, but she was so open and just so free in being and sharing love, you know. And through this healing process of bringing myself back to that original state of being, of who I was, of who I am at the core, but balanced now, it is chef's kiss. It is chef's kiss, because I have no regrets with how everything turned out to be, because I'm grateful. It truly brought me so much understanding and peace and understanding in the lessons I had to go through to get here, to get to this point. I had to go through these past people, these past situations to help me get to here in this more balanced energy. It taught me to really tap into my discernment, but also remembering everyone is a human being too. Everyone is not perfect. Everyone has different emotions and perspectives. Oh, excuse me. It's about to burp there. That everyone is not perfect, and that is okay. But I have to be able to hold a space for people and still be kind and still be compassionate, because we're all only humans, right? And I was just giving off such bad vibes and energy. Like, I was so cold and just so shut down from wanting to receive and wanting to give at the same time, and just closing off that soft part of myself. And it just made me really rigid. I was not happy at all, very much not happy. But now being in this state of balancing those energies and balancing the head, the heart, the mind, the soul, the body all to one, and operating like that has brought me so much more peace, so much lighter in life. Just, not overthinking, not overstressing, not overthinking situations or conversations or past conversations or any of that. Not overthinking my interactions with people anymore. It's just being in the present, being soft, being kind, but with boundaries, but with discernment, but with intuition and with a brain. Okay, we are soft, not stupid. Alrighty, so that closes off our segment. For all of those who are exploring this softer side of yourself again in this world full of people who tried to hurt you, who tried to harden you, it's a great immense amount of strength to do that, to tap into that power again through pain and learning to trust again and learning to love again and be open again, but wiser, but better, but with intuition, you know? And softness, especially in women, it is, I believe it's sacred, and it's not for everyone. It's for those who can hold a space for that, who can honor that, who can respect that from you, and who can appreciate that. So don't just be being all soft and whatever the fuck to anybody around you. Use your discernment, use your intuition, and make sure that it is a safe space for that. Yes, I was saying be soft, be kind, be whatever all the time, but hey, I kept saying use that discernment. It is so important, you guys. Don't turn into a doormat. Don't let people walk all over you, because people will try. People will try, and it's like, I know, especially with me and my personality, I can come off as very aloof, very much like in my own world, and like not all the way there, but I'm a thinker. I'm a deep analytical thinker. I am always, especially this version of me now, I use my discernment. I read vibes, I read energy. If I'm not speaking to you, if I'm not talking to you, if I'm acting really aloof around you, I don't trust you. You have something wrong with your energy that I don't trust. So I'm not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna speak on anything, I'm not gonna move in a way that exposes the true me, you know? Like, I'll still be kind to you, cool, until you're not. But it's just like, when people view you as like aloof or not all the way there, they think they can step all over you and use you like a doormat, you know? And it's like, you gotta make sure that you use your brain, use your energy, use your discernment, and don't be spiteful, don't be vengeful, don't try and prove them anything. Move on with grace, trust your energy, move on with grace, keep it pushing. And yeah, guys, that basically sums up this cute little podcast. This is the last one of the self-love and healing journey, and we're gonna keep moving on to spicier and spicier topics. Not like spicy, but you know, like juicy kind of conversations that we want to talk about, that we want to hear about. I'm excited for the next season, because this is going to be sharing a lot about like relationships and what I've learned, and how I'm just gonna share what I've learned, boundaries, and you know, making sure that you're choosing the right person, and like love and relationships, especially at this weird age of dating. Yeah, this generation is cooked, but I will share my experiences, and then if you still want to be one of the brave soldiers out there to date these men, I salute you. I really do. Take my advice first. Make sure that you are not getting caught by something in disguise, okay? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, spread some love in the comment section, and subscribe if you are new, or if you enjoyed the vibes and want to carry along this journey with me, please do so. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.